Everyone, it's Henry on the live stream. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I hope everyone can hear me and can see my screen very clearly. If you cannot hear me or cannot see my screen very clearly, please indicate so that I can have that fixed before we commence. So in today's live stream, I'm going to start by talking about my analysis and what I'm anticipating to see on Aussie dollar. And thank you so much, Peter Mosey, for your confirmation. So what I'm looking at is for Aussie dollar to go to the upside. And right here, I'm going to walk you through my analysis and the reason why I'm anticipating for a potential move to the upside on Aussie. So firstly, we're going to look at the daily time frame. And overall on the daily time frame, as you can see right here, we're working with the current time frame. We'll have a swing high, we'll have a swing low, and we'll have a break of structure right here. And after this break of structure, the next thing I want to see is for price to retest this key level, because this was the last down close candle before expansion to break structure. If we use the line chart, you can see this was the last down close candle before expansion to break that structure. And right here is the liquidity. So if price is hunting for liquidity, I wouldn't be surprised to see it run below that liquidity, the purple line on the line chart. So as you can see, price came down there. We have 4-hour inefficiency resting right there as well. So anything within this range, if we see a 15-minute shift to market structure or a 30-minute shift to market structure, we'll be looking for a buy. And so far we go to 15 minutes time frame, and on the 15 minutes time frame you can see perfectly price create low, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and a lower low. And then eventually we've been in this consolidation, and eventually we broke structure. So the moment we broke this structure, right here is my stop loss. This right here is going to be my entry position. I put my entry position at the highs right here. I've already put an entry right there. So if we're bullish, this would be a perfect area to see a rejection and then potentially continuous move to the upside. So all I wanted to see was a break and close above the high. A break and close above the high. And so far you can see very nicely price broke that structure. This is the high, this is the low, broke it, closed above it. And if we go to 30 minutes time frame to see it as well, you can see very nicely structure was broken, high, low, break of structure, closed above it. Let's look at it on the line chart. High, low, break of structure. This right here would be a reaccumulation zone. If we were to see a move to the upside, then potentially I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen from here. So as you can see, this key level, the bodies of the candle, I wouldn't be surprised if price comes in here, but whether it does come in here or not, all I'm looking for to see right now is a 3-minute shift to market structure, and then I'll look for a re-entry. Excuse me. So far, as you can see, I'm going to be watching this very closely for a 3-minute shift in order for me to get a re-entry into the market. So right here, this is a high. So when I say a re-entry, this is what I'm anticipating to see. Price to create a low, create a high, create a high, create another low, high, just something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but this is what I'm anticipating to see for re-entry. So if I do see this, if I do see price consistently creating lower highs and a lower low, then potentially I'll be looking for this break on the smaller time frame. And once I see a break, I'll use the high as an entry, like this. Stop loss this low, and I'll add extra 3 pips to it. So that'll be around 5 pips. Take profit, same destination. So that is what I'm watching. So far, there's no certainty price is gonna definitely come down here, because you can see that the last down close candle on the smaller time frame was this. So this could be an area that price will come into and then continue higher. Very possible. So it can either mitigate the wicks, the bodies of the candle, or the liquidity. So the only thing I would like to see from here would be for price to break structure on the 3 minutes time frame, and then I'll look for re-entries. So you have to note this is a high and this is a low. This is a high, this is a low. If we break above this high, I'll consider that a break of structure. So if we're going to get a re-entry after breaking above this high, it's going to be quite a fast one. So stop loss 2 pips. In this case, my stop loss, I'm going to give it 6 pips. Why 6 pips? Because 2.3 pips is very small in my opinion. I would never use 2.2. I would never use 2 pips on any trade, and the reason is because it's very small, and the spread on Aussie, I don't know what the spread is for your broker. Your spread could be 1 pip or 2 pips, which means if your stop loss is 2 pips, you literally give that away as spread. So the moment price taps the entry, it's gonna liquidate you and take you out of the trade in a loss. So if you risk 1% and your stop loss is 2 pips and your spread is 2 pips as well, price tapping your entry is literally taking you out instantly. Whether it hit your stop loss or not, it's gonna take you out, and it's gonna take you out in a loss as well. So that is why when I started trading, I used to be so fascinated about using small stop losses like 3 pips, 2 pips, but eventually I realized that you don't need a 2 pip stop loss. Peter Mosey, I already told you where to find the link on Discord. I already told you where to find the link. Okay. Okay, I think you sent the ticket. You sent the ticket by 8:51. It's just my Discord is just notifying me just now. Sorry about that. So as you can see, price has tapped this high. So the next thing I want to see is a close above it, a complete close. So once I see a complete close above it, it hasn't closed yet. So let's look deeper. It didn't close above it right here, so I don't consider that a close. I like to see a complete close. So once I see a close, this high will be my entry. So So I'm gonna type that out as well. Hopefully we do get into the trade. In the next 3 minutes, hopefully we should see a close either above or below. So we're watching this one. So maybe this is gonna be all I'm gonna talk about in this live stream, because I just want to make sure I've sorted out with this trade. So hopefully it goes successfully. So as you can see, prices in between going up and coming down. This is what we have to deal with in trading. We have to be patient. We have to wait to see everything align perfectly. If it doesn't align perfectly, we do not engage. If it doesn't align, we don't engage. We just stay on the sideline. So as you can see, price is rallying above it now. So let's look at, so for this trade, the entry, as long as we break above here, the entry is going to be this position. I'm just going to use this position as the entry. So, and that is 66066. And the stop loss is going to be, so right here, let me look for the key level. Stop loss is gonna be on 5 minutes. Candle without wicks here. I'm not really comfortable using the candle without wicks low. I'm not comfortable using this as stop loss, so I think I'll prefer to use here. So I prefer to use this low as stop loss. So, and that would be 8.2 pips. So 8.2 pips. So stop loss will be 65982. So I'm gonna post this. If you're on the live stream, you can basically just copy what I'm doing, because I'm gonna have to post this as well on the so it takes a little bit of time because I'm doing quite a lot of things at the moment, and also having to place the same trade in our accounts. So trade alerts. Entry is 66. Stop loss is 65982. So re-entry has been updated as well. So if you're in the group chats, you should see it on Discord right now. So this is the entry I'm using here as a stop loss, irrespective of the fact that this would have been a better area to use a stop loss, but I don't like the area, to be honest. And personally, for me, trading is not really all about having a very small stop loss. It's not a competition whose stop loss is smaller and all the rest of them. I don't care about having a very small stop loss. Personally, I'm more interested in being in a profitable trade than having a small stop loss. So that is why you can see my re-entry stop loss is here. It's supposed to be here. That's where it's supposed to be, but it's better safe than sorry. So let's see whether these two positions are gonna work. And right here, high low break after mitigating this position, because this was the overall down close candle right here, the bodies of the candle. This was the overall down close candle that I'm working with. This was the overall down close candle, impulse, rejection, break. So this is the main overall down close candle, and it mitigated the bodies of the candle. So the moment the bodies of the candle is mitigated, if I see a shift, I'll buy it. So if we invert this, you can see basically this is a clean low, a clean high, and then a break. So this right here would be my entry into this one. Stop loss is supposed to be here, but I'm not going to use here as stop loss because we have this inefficiency here, we have this here as well. So price can still want to come back to run this stops right here. That can happen. That's 1000% possible. Price can decide to come back here, run in, and even come down here to mitigate this and then continue. So price has potentially tapped the entry. So as you can see, it's tapped the entry. So 2 entries, you're supposed to be in both trades at the moment. First entry has already activated, and this is the second entry. So hopefully the 2 trade plays out. If the 2 trades play out, so we're gonna be in a very nice profit for the month, hopefully, if it does play out, because I'm expecting my second point of interest, I'm anticipating for it to hit a 1:15 risk to reward ratio. And the second entry, I'm anticipating for 1:15, which is 15%. And the first entry is about, let me see, so the first entry is a 1:10. First entry is a 1:10 risk to reward ratio, and the second entry is a 1:15. So if we can back this today, that will be, if we can back this, if these trades can actually go towards our direction and hit our take profits, we'll be making around 25% on just these 2 positions. 25% on these 2 positions, which in my opinion is phenomenal. So hedge funds are aiming to make 10%, 15% for the year. So if we can make 25% on just 2 trades, my opinion, that'll be phenomenal. So hopefully that works out. So right now, second entry has been activated. So whatever broker you're using, you're definitely gonna be in this trade right now. So yeah, even on my own accounts, company accounts, both trades have already activated. So both trades are activated. So hopefully, let's see how this is going to play out, and I'm gonna be watching it very closely. And as you can see, price came in very nicely, mitigated this inefficiency, and we're seeing some rejections. So it's been quite a very lethargic price action, to be honest, but it's just how this kind of trades usually play out. You usually see a very slow price action, and all of a sudden you just see a huge impulse move towards one direction. If you're right, it just impulsively just goes towards your direction, smashing through significant highs. But if you're wrong, impulsively take your stop. So it can go either way, up or down. So like, one of the reasons why I didn't want us to use here as stop loss is because it's just 2 pips, and if our stop was here, right now your broker is going to be showing you, you're going to be seeing this red sign on your MT4 showing you that trade is close to your stop, even though it's not, but it is close to your stop anyway. If you're looking at it on the chart, it's not going to look like it's close to your stop because your stop loss is here, but your broker is seeing it as it's close because it's just maybe 1.5 pips or something away from that entry position. So any slight thing, if price even come even slightly lower to this position, your broker is going to just take you out of that trade. So it's not worth it. It's not worth trying to see whether it's going to work out. That is part of the reason why stop loss is best to be left here. It's best if our stop loss was here, it will be a very high risk to reward trade, 1:49, which is incredible, but at the same time it will be very risky because if price comes slightly lower, trade will literally take us out. So instead of us doing that, it's best to leave it here. So that's just my opinion on this one, but hopefully the trade plays out. I honestly wouldn't expect this trade to take this low. I honestly wouldn't expect that to happen, but at the same time there isn't any certainty that it's not going to happen. Price can decide to come lower to take the low. It's 1000% possible. So you can see that if our stop loss was here right now, your broker would have taken you out due to spread, even though it hasn't hit the stop loss zone, but you would have been out of this trade by now. So you can see it's usually better to be safe than sorry. So it's better it's safe right here, as long as this position should hold for a re-entry, as long as the overall market direction remains to the upside, as long as this point of interest is going to work, and this last down close candle is going to work for a re-entry position to continue to take us to the upside, then I wouldn't want to see price come below this area. That is what makes a stop loss zone a valid zone. So that is what I'm watching out to see, and I'll keep updating every one of you on this trade, whether it's going well or not. I'll keep you all updated on it. If price goes towards our direction and hits key levels where we should trail stop loss to break even, I'm still going to have that updated as well, so we will make it a risk-free trade. So as long as the analysis is right and price is going towards our direction, it's going to be a lovely day. So I'm just going to be watching this very closely today. It's basically the only trade I'm placing. I'm not so this is going to be the only trade I'm going to be placing today. I'm not going to be looking at much else for the rest of the week. So this is the last trading day for the week. So if the trade plays out, I would like to see an expansion. So let's look at the economic calendar to see if we have any high impact news today that could potentially bring some volatility into the markets. Today is Friday, and 7 a.m. high impact on pound, CHF 845, 130 on card, and 130 on US dollar medium impact news, and 235 on US dollar FOMC. So probably we're gonna see some volatility in the market from 1:30 today. I wouldn't be surprised to see volatility in the market from 1:30 to 3 o'clock, around that time frame. That's when I would expect to see volatility. So that is my analysis, and that is what I'm watching to see in the market. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. So as you can see right now, the low, you can see that price is actually coming to take this low. So if our stop loss was resting right here, it would have taken a loss right now. It would have taken us out. So that is why it's usually better safe than sorry. You can see that if I had placed that stop loss zone here, it would have taken us out. So the only thing I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna be watching this very closely to see whether this trade is still gonna work or not, because as long as we're bullish, I wouldn't want price to drop drastically. So you can see, like I said previously, price can potentially want to come down to mitigate this inefficiency. That is why one thing to take from this is to never put your stop loss at an inefficiency. If your stop loss is resting right here, there's a very high tendency price will come down to run your stop, mitigate the inefficiency, and continue higher. Price can literally mitigate this inefficiency, and then the next thing you will see, if it's bullish, would be to rally to the upside, breaking this high, creating opportunity for re-entry and continuation to the upside. That's if we're bullish. So that is one thing to put into perspective. When you're placing a stop loss, always be wary of where you place your stop loss. Never place your stop loss too tight. Never use 2 pips or 3 pips stop loss. It's not worth it. 9 out of 10 times your stop loss is going to get hit if you're using 2 pips, 3 pips stop loss. 9 out of 10 times your stop loss is going to get hit. So the probability is not on your side. You want a probability that is going to be on your side, at least, even if it's 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times, it's going to work in your favor. If something you're doing is going to work in your favor just 1 time out of 10 times, it's high risk, and I wouldn't recommend it. That is why using small stop loss is not good for your trading account. And number 2, placing your stop loss above or below a fair value gap or an inefficiency is also not ideal. Because if our stop loss was resting right here, if our stop loss was here or here, you can see right now price would have wiped our stop loss. And imagine price wiping out, taking us out and reversing and going towards our direction. How would that make you feel? You will feel so bitter and so angry how price just took your stop loss and then went towards your direction. But that could have been avoided by just giving it a little bit of more room to play around. Give price some room to play around. Let it play around, do what it wants to do within this zone. And once it's satisfied, it can move. So hopefully we do see an impulse move to the upside. Hopefully we do see a continuation move to the upside on Aussie, because I still remain very bullish on Aussie. I'm still very bullish on Australian US dollar. I still want to see it rally to the upside exponentially, reaching new highs. But at the same time, you have to understand that there isn't a certainty in trading. Trading is filled with probability. Whether price will do what we want it to do or not, it's all a probability. So in order for us to manage the probability in trading, all we can do is to look for the highly probable situations, things that has occurred in our favor more times that it has occurred against us, and then we work with the things that have worked for us more times than not. So that is one of the reasons why I said, in as much as stop loss should have been this low, I wouldn't place my stop loss here. And look, it just happened. I literally talked about it like 5 minutes ago, and price literally did exactly that. And the reason why I was able to spot that before it happened is because of experience. I've experienced this happening to me several times, so many times that I've just made up my mind that I would rather have a big stop loss. Even 8 pip stop loss is not a huge stop loss, but I would rather have an 8 pip stop loss and end up being profitable than have a 2 pip stop loss and then end up not being profitable. So I would rather choose to have a wider stop and be a profitable trader than a small stop and be unprofitable. So that is one thing to take away from today's live stream. And price is going up, so you can see it literally came down to run the stop losses. Now it's going up. And if I wanted to get another re-entry into this market, what I would do, if I wanted to get a re-entry, what I would do is I'll wait for price to break above this high. If we break above this high, close above it, I'll use this high as another pyramid entry. Stop loss 3 pips below this low. This is what I mean. I'll show you what I mean. Just for those that are on the live stream, it's gonna be your takeaway. Let's say you want to get another entry, wait few minutes. If we're bullish and this analysis is gonna play out, then I want to see this high break. You can see the line I drew there. I would like to see price gravitate to the upside, break this high. The moment this high gets broken and price closes above it, use this wicks right here as a re-entry. Stop loss this low, add 3 extra pips, and that will be 8 pips stop loss right here, right there. Take profit, same position. So if the trade is gonna work, then the low should stay sustained. Take profit is going to be the same position, and this is still a 1:15 risk to reward ratio. So that is what I would do, but I wouldn't jump in yet. I would wait for a break. Always wait to see a break and close. If you don't see a break and close, then just be on the sidelines, because most likely it's not going to work, and you wouldn't want to jump in and then price just reverses on you and wipes you out. So what I do is I always wait for a break and close. If it's going to work, if a re-entry, even though I'm not going to get into a re-entry anymore, I'm already in 2 positions right now. I don't like having more than 2 positions, 2 open positions. I just don't like doing it. It's just personal opinion, but some people do it. I do see some traders have like 4, 5, 6, even 10 open positions, which is great for them. Is how they trade. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not how I trade. It's just not how I think. It's not just how I believe trading should be. Every trader has different beliefs, and it doesn't mean because I believe this way, traders that believe the other way, they are bad traders. That's not what it means. It's just simply everyone with their own opinion, everyone with their own discipline. The reason I don't like having too many open positions is because I don't like having too many losses. Now, let's say this trade works out and I get a third entry right here.
So firstly,
I'm gonna have 3 winning trades, which is a banger, which is phenomenal.
So you can see right here.
But
we're working with
what
the
if
current time frame.
price goes against you?
We have a swing low.
Now you
have
have
a break of
3
structure
losing
right here.
trades in a
And
row.
after this break of
One
structure,
setup,
the next
3
thing I want to
losing
see
trades.
is for price to
What is that
retrace-
gonna do to your
retest
account?
this key level.
If
because
you
this
were
was the
risking
last
1%,
downward
that's
candle
literally
for
one
expansion
setup.
to
You
break
just lost
structure.
3%. It's
We
going
use the
to
line chart,
damage
you
you
can see this was the
psychologically.
last downward
That
candle
is why I
expansion
don't do
to break
it.
that structure.
So I would
Right here is
rather
the
take
liquidity.
2 losses.
So
If it
if
doesn't
price is
work
hunting
out,
for liquidity,
I'd rather
I
take
wouldn't
2
be surprised to
losses
see it run
and
below
call
that
it a
liquidity,
day.
the purple
Another
line
day, I'm
on the
looking for
line
another
chart.
entry.
So
Rather
as
than
you can see,
taking
price
3
came down
losses
there.
in a
We have
row
4-hour
and then
inefficiency resting right there as
wanting
well.
to get back,
So anything within
revenge
this
trade,
range, if
and
we
blow my
see a
account.
15-minute
It
shift to
doesn't
market
make
structure
sense.
or a 30-minute shift to market
So
structure,
that is the thing. Every
we'll be
trader
looking for
has their
buy.
own
And
perspective,
so
their
far, we go to
rules they
15 minutes
follow.
time frame, and on the 15
But
minutes time
at the
frame,
end
you
of the
can see
day, what works for
perfectly price
you may
created
not work for me.
lower
What
high,
works
lower
for
low,
me may
lower
not
high,
work for
lower
another
low,
trader.
lower
At the
low,
end of the day, the
lower
most
high,
important thing
lower low,
is to make
lower
money.
high,
That's all that
and then
matters.
lower low.
So whether it's working for
eventually
me or
we'll be in
not,
this
if I'm not making money,
consolidation, and eventually
what's the value
broke
of
structure.
the information?
So the moment we broke this structure,
So as you can see,
right
both
here is my
trades are in
stop
profit
loss.
now, which is incredible.
right here
Hopefully price
gonna
goes
be my
towards our
entry
direction
position.
and we can
I
all
put my
make some
entry
good
position
money.
at the highs
If
right
we can
here.
make 25%
I've
on these
already
two
put an
trades,
entry
that
right
will
there.
be
So
incredible.
we're bullish.
It would
This would
be
a perfect
a
area
new-
to see a rejection.
I think it's going to
potentially
be a
continue to
new
move to the
record
upside.
for us as well.
So all I wanted to see was
25% on the trade to be a neutral record.
high.
And I think the highest trade
break and
we've
close
had
above
has
the
been
high.
11%.
So
So
far,
if this
you can
one should
see very
work out,
nicely,
one entry
price
is
broke
15%,
that
one
structure.
entry is 10%.
This is the high, this is the
So
low.
the
Broke
15%
it,
one
closed
would
above
be
it,
a
and
new
if you go to
record.
30 minutes time frame,
So
to
hopefully
see it
this
as
works
well,
out.
you can see
And
very nicely.
if you're watching this and you want to get a re-entry, remember
structure
what I
was
said.
broken,
You want to
high,
see a break
low,
above this high,
break of structure,
because this is now
closed
a
above
new.
it. Let's look at it on
So
the line
this is
chart.
now our new high,
Low, break of structure. This right here
and
would
this
be
is our
a
new low.
reaccumulation zone. If we're to see a move to the upside, then
I'll just
potentially
make it different colors so you
wouldn't be
can
surprised to
be
see
able
that
to
happen
differentiate what
here.
I'm talking about. So this is our new high, this is our new low. If price breaks above this new high and closes
as you
above
can
it,
see, this key level,
then
the
we'll
bodies
look
of
for
the
a
candle.
re-entry. My time is
I
up,
won't be
but
surprised
I'm
if price
just
comes in here, but what it does
I'm just
come in here
waiting
or
to
not,
see if
all
this
I'm
is gonna
looking forward
break
to see right now
above it,
is
and then so in
continuation
case
of
if
market
anyone who's on the
structure,
live
and then
stream
I'll
wants
look
to
for
enter,
re-entry.
you will know how to do that independently. So another thing to take note is if you want a
So far,
pyramid
as you can
entry,
see,
pyramid entry is when you're
I'm going to be
getting the
watching
first
this very
entry, second
closely,
entry, third
the
entry,
3-minute
fourth
shift,
entry.
in order for me to get
How
a
you can
re-entry
do
into
that.
the market.
That's what a pyramid entry is. So when
right
you're
here,
doing a
this is
pyramid
high.
entry, each
So when I say
entry,
re-entry, this is what
each
I'm
new
anticipating
entry
to
is
see.
going to be with
Price to
a
create a
lower
low,
risk.
create a
So
high,
personally, in my personal account,
create a
now
high,
the first trade, the
create
first
another
entry
low,
that I got in using this
high.
position, this right here was my first entry. I just put a limit order right here.
just something like
And
this.
that was
It
my
doesn't
first
have to be
entry.
exactly
And I
like
used
this, but this is
0.3%. So the moment
what I'm
price came in here the
anticipating
first
to
time,
see
activated me
for a
0.3% risk. The second entry,
if I
we
do
created
see
a high,
this,
a low, broke above here.
if I do see
second
price
entry was
consistently
here,
creating
and I
lower
was
highs
risking
and lower lows,
0.2%. Stop loss here. Now, if I wanted to
then
get into
potentially
another entry, if I
I'll be
wanted to get
looking
into
for
another entry,
this
what I'll
break
do is,
on the smaller time
if price
frame,
breaks above
and
here,
once I see a break,
the moment will break
I'll
above
use the
here,
high as an entry.
close. My next
Like this.
entry, I'll be using 0.1%.
Stop
And
loss.
this will
low,
be the entry. Let's say
and
price
add
breaks above
extra
here,
3
close
pips
this.
to it. So
I'll
that'll
use
be
here
around
as the
9
entry.
pips.
Stop loss 3
Take
pips
profit,
below this low.
same destination.
My risk will be 0.1%.
So that is what I'm watching.
Does that make sense?
So,
So
far,
that
there's no
way-
certainty price is gonna definitely
that
come
way,
down here.
Even
Because
if price
you can see
reverses
that
on me,
The last down close candle on
now
the smaller
what I'll
time
do
frame
is the
was
moment here
this.
gets broken, my stop
So,
loss,
This could be
I'll trail all
an
stop
area that price will
losses
come into
to
and then continue
this position.
higher.
This
Very
position will be all my stop
possible.
losses
So
will
it
be
can
here.
either mitigate the
I'll
width,
trail
the bodies
all
of the
my stop
candle.
losses to this
or the
position.
liquidity.
So if
So
anything
the only thing I
happens
would like to
and
see
price
from here would be
reverses
for price
to wipe
break
out
structure,
all the trades, let's say the
10 minutes
entire
time frame,
trade doesn't work out,
and then
everything
I'll
doesn't
go
work out,
entries.
and it comes back to reverse on me to take me out, it's going to take me out losing what I would have lost on 2 trades.
So you have to note this
and
is the
not
high
3
and
trades
this
because
is a
I
low.
moved all my stop losses to here, reducing the risk for the first entry, reducing the risk for the second entry as well. So let's say
is the high,
my
this
entire
is the
risk
low.
is 0.6% on the 3 trades,
break above
0.3
this
first
high,
one, 0.2 second one,
I'll consider that
0.1
the
the
break
third
structure.
entry. Now reducing my stop loss from the first entry stop loss that was here. First entry, the stop loss was here.
So if
I
we're
now
gonna get a
reduce it to here,
re-entry
which is almost
after
50%.
breaking above this high,
The second entry stop loss was here.
it's gonna be quite.
The first entry
fast
stop
one.
loss was here. I now put it here, which is 50%.
So stop loss
So
2
if
pips.
price reverses
In
on
this
me, I'll
case,
lose
my stop loss I'm
0.1%.
gonna give it
Second entry, which is 0.2%.
6 pips.
Stop loss here. I trail
Why
it here,
6
which is
pips?
literally almost
Because
half
2.3
of
pips
that.
is very
And third
small
entry is a
in
risk
my opinion.
0.1
I'll
stop
never
loss here.
use
Does that make sense?
2.2.
So
I'll
I'll
never use 2
basically
pips on
even
any trade.
lose probably
And the
if
reason
price
is
reverses on
because
me and
it's
wipes
very
me out.
small.
I'll literally
And the
lose
spread
maybe
on Aussie,
like
I don't know what the spread is for the
0.3%
broker. Your spread could be 1 pip or 2
in
pips,
total, or
which
just
means
something
if
like
your
that.
stop loss is
So
2
that
pips,
is
you
how to
literally give
pyramid
that
entry,
away as a
how to
spread.
get
So the moment
pyramid
price
entries
starts
into the market.
entry, it's gonna liquidate.
So
that
my
if you
time
are
is up. I just
in a loss. So if you risk
wanted
1%
to explain
and
these
your,
things
and your
because it's
stop loss
very
is 2
essential
pips,
to
and your
know
spread is 2
these
pips,
things, how to pyramid
price
entry,
stopping your
get
entry
re-entries
is
into the
literally
market,
taking you
and
out
all
instantly.
sorts. It's very
Whether
essential
it hits
to
your
know
stop
these
loss
things
or not, it's
because
gonna take you out.
it helps you
And
as a
it's gonna take you
trader
out in a
to be
loss as
confident in your abilities,
So
knowing
that is
that
why
even if you missed
when
the
I
first
started
entry,
trading, I used to
you know for a
think I used
fact
to be
that
so
you're going to
fascinated
get
about
another entry.
using small stop
You're
losses
not
like 3
feeling
pips, 2
like
pips.
you've been
But
left out,
eventually I
price is not
realized
going to
that
come back,
you
you're
don't
not
need
going to
a
make
2 pip
profit,
stop loss.
you don't care about any of all that because you know that price will eventually come back to take you in. Because you know areas of liquidity, areas that price will come back to mitigate for a potential re-entry and then continuation towards your direction. So that is going to be it for today. I appreciate every single one of you that tuned in, and if you do have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'm going to be there to answer all your questions. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you all in the next live stream. Have an amazing day, everyone.
So as you can see,